Alright, welcome to issue 2 of One Shot, a comic podcast.
That's our name.
Yep. You might notice a slight increase in sound quality this week.
Why is that, Tom?
Because we actually were a bit more prepared and bought a microphone.
Wow, okay. Cool.
So we're not quite as ghetto as last week.
No.
Gangster.
We still don't have any speakers though. So if somebody could donate some speakers to us, that would be fantastic. Yeah.
And we're more prepared this week, so when we sign off, I actually have websites, Twitter and YouTube and things like that, and it's not just going to be a complete clusterfuck like last time.
So the three of our friends who are listening,
probably 2 after last week.
2, yes, and probably not friends anymore. But no. You guys can go to the website. You can go to the YouTubes, go on the Facebooks, and you can leave filthy comments and pictures and things like that, and just tell us what you think. And
let's not forget that we are now on iTunes.
Also, we're on iTunes. Yeah, I mean, I don't even use it, but we're on there.
I don't know. I feel like it somewhat vindicates us being on iTunes.
It felt good. It felt good when I walked over to your desk and you told me you were on iTunes.
Yep.
We were on iTunes.
Yeah.
It touched me. It touched me.
As people may have heard, we do have much better audio quality. Now, would you like to describe the microphone to me?
The microphone, it looks like the floating thing from Fallout 3, that weird little metal ball that you find when you come out of the vault at the beginning. I think it has a real name, and it's not hostile or anything, but if you shoot it, it tries to fuck you up or something.
It just flies around playing the Patriot tunes.
Yeah, that's the one. It looks loads like it.
Yeah.
Tom says it looks like an eyeball from Flight with the Navigator as well. And
I thought it did until we googled it.
Yeah, and then we looked at it on YouTube, and there was this little furry thing that has one leg. I saw the film as a kid, and I don't remember anything about it. I thought, for some reason, I've in my head associated it with this anime that I'll probably remember halfway through the podcast, where this little boy gets like his dick stuck in a spaceship or something, and he becomes like a superhero
from getting his dick stuck in a spaceship.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man gets his, he gets bit by a radioactive spider. This guy gets his dick stuck in a radioactive spaceship. It's like Battle Fighter Guigon or something. I can't remember the name of it. Guyver, man, fucking Guyver. That's the one. Like, he gets a ball stuck in his head and he tears the guy's guts out. I don't think it's got anything to do with his dick, but for some reason I thought that Flight of the Navigator was something, maybe not getting molested, but I remember having confused feelings whilst watching it, or what I remember as being Flight of the Navigator. So
when we're all thinking eyeballs saying compliance, you're thinking dick in a spaceship.
I'm thinking get my dick stuck in the door of a spaceship.
I was just thinking that dick in a spaceship would have been a ridiculously good alternate origin for Superman. Crash landed in the fields of Smallville. It's just like, help. What's up, son? It's complicated.
I thought you were saying in Red Son, where he crashes on the Soviet side instead, but he crashes in Smallville and he's just a jerk. Like, he's just a total asshole, and he won't do anything. The Earth's burning, and he's just like, fuck you guys.
So if DC are listening,
yes,
we will write and illustrate.
Yes, of course.
The third alternate Superman,
exactly,
with dick in a spaceship.
It works. I don't know why that works, but I like it.
A little bit more structure this week. So let's start off with some comic book news. Mm-hmm. Now, because we're filming these podcasts kind of like half a week before we put them out, most of it won't be current. So we'll just keep the generally cool stuff that we're interested in. So I want to talk about Puyo.
Okay.
Now I know you're not a massive fan of Chew.
Okay. So what's Chew?
So Chew.
Okay.
It's a comic book about a Sebopath.
A Sebopath.
Yes, Sebopaths being people who, when they eat foods, get mental memories from them.
Okay.
For everything apart from beets.
Apart from beets.
From beets or beetroots. I think they're beetroot in English.
The purple root vegetable.
Yeah.
Okay. Why not beets?
It's never explained.
It's just randomly.
It just says at the start, not beets, and never explains why.
That's the thing. I know you want to talk about your new comic, but I've just got to say this: the art style of the comic. I've only read the first volume, but it was just like this guy has. I don't want to say this because he's not going to listen, but maybe that somebody likes Chew's going to listen, and they'll be like, "I'm going to come around your house and stab you." But this guy's anatomy drawings just totally pissed me off, and I know it's stylized stuff, but I don't know why. I just had this primal reaction to it that made me want to stick thumbs in like babies' eyes and stuff like that. So
it's quite a down statement.
Yeah.
Chew makes me want to stick fingers in babies' eye holes.
Yes,
but
go on.
Sure, you enjoy the word chogs and frickins.
What does chogs mean? I like the sound of it, but I don't.
Chogs and
remember
frickins are genetic hybrids between frogs and chickens. Because in Chew, if you remember, poultry and chicken products are outlawed by the FDA. I do remember that,
and I like the concept again, but it
has no purpose.
It has no purpose.
Like chickens banned.
Like it was establishing this universe where it's like, okay, there's this, it's like our world, but then there's these different other pieces to it. Okay, I'm like, cool, okay, but then there's no structure to it at all. It's just like it's like our world with random inside it. You're like, okay.
So did you ever get as far as reading any issue with Poyo in?
Spoilers, if you've not read Chew before. I got to the part where his boss turns out to also be one of these guys who can eat
Cyberpaths.
A Cyberpath. So he can also eat food and find shit out about it. But he's also like a dick as well. like he's evil or something.
He's an evil gentleman.
Evil
British gentleman. With mutton chops and everything.
Yeah, he has mutton chops and he's badly drawn. And
ridiculous proportions.
Ridiculous proportions that morph horribly in every frame that he's rendered in.
But chogs and frickins, bringing it back on topic,
right?
Because frogs aren't outlawed, and people are always like, frog tastes like chicken. Some industrialists like, why don't we just make frickins or chogs?
Right.
So these are the hybrids, and I just think they're really fun words to say.
I like chogs. It sounds nice.
Yeah. Poyo.
I
think he's in the second story arc.
That's Spanish for chicken.
Isn't that polo? I'm not down.
That's Italian.
Spanish.
That's Italian. That's Italian.
Multilingual. That's what we are here.
Multilingual.
One shot. Multilingual.
Yes.
So we got it in Spanish and Italian. But anyway, probably is Poyo. I'm not really down with my Spanish. My Spanish is not very good. Okay. I did German at school and still couldn't even tell you what it is in German.
Okay. Alter Fahrhaut.
Is that what it is?
No, that means old foreskin.
Okay. Does that you use that often on your travels?
I've heard that it's like a colloquial greeting that you'd say to an old friend.
Like, all right, my old duck.
Yeah, hey up, my old sausage. But you'd call them, hey up, my old foreskin.
Well travelled.
It's true.
So bringing back round to Poyo.
Yeah.
He is a chicken.
Okay.
On this random island that is like a cockfighting chicken.
Okay.
And he has a little Mexican wrestling mask on.
Okay.
Now, you're probably thinking this is more of Chew's randomness, and it is, but this is why I like Chew. And I have a thing for Mexico and luchadors. I think luchadors are the coolest thing ever.
Just to point out to the audience, Tom did not get an erection when he said that, so we're still good. Okay,
it was very hard.
Yeah,
I do enjoy luchadors.
Okay,
so there's a chicken with a luchador mask on.
Okay,
so immediately I'm sold.
Okay,
because it's a chicken in a luchador mask.
Right,
and Chew recovers it from these local hooligans who are making it fight.
The chicken or the chicken? The mask? The
chicken in the mask. Both of them.
Okay.
Somebody runs away with him and he disappears into America. Mm-hmm. So what happens is it keeps popping up in the different story arcs.
Right, okay.
And eventually he becomes an agent, the FDA.
Right.
I'm not going to say how, cause people might not want spoilers.
Okay.
But he's getting his own book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's out on the same day as issue 100 of Walking Dead, so that will be the 11th of July.
Okay.
And it's his own book. From what I hear, it's everything you hate about Chew, because the story, the plot line is it's nothing to do with the Chew universe. He gets his own story.
I might like it.
So well, you may like it for that reason. But you know how when it rains, there's the phenomenon that it rains frog spawn.
No.
Well, apparently there's a phenomenon where it can rain frog spawn. So it rains frogs.
Sorry, phenomenon.
Minute.
Oh my god, that's everybody's gone. We can say what we want now.
Yeah,
go on.
So, what was that? So the phenomenon.
I'm not fucking.
You don't do it again, okay?
No.
So phenomenon.
Shit.
where it rains frog spawn.
Uh-huh.
Some evil British scientist has perfected that and made it so it can rain farm animals, whatever farm animal he wants.
Okay, see, to the character of Poyo,
the Mexican luchador chicken.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine. That works. That's that universe, and that works completely fine with that.
I'm not done yet though. so it's Poyo's job to take down this evil scientist.
Right.
Now, along the way, we don't know how,
Right.
Poyo ends up in hell.
Okay. Yeah, again. Okay, go.
And basically fucks up the devil's shit.
Right.
The hounds of hell, nothing can stop him.
Right.
Because Poyo is badass.
This is his character. This is what he does.
And that's... Poyo. Love me some Poyo. So that's Poyo. Secret Agent Poyo. Chew, Secret Agent Poyo is its full title. 11th of July.
11th of July.
Along with Walking Dead 100.
Okay.
I think it will be at least a little bit of a comedic treat myself.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
I may also pick up the variant cover for that as well.
So how does a variant cover work? Is that a common thing that you see?
Most comics will have a variant, and it's generally like for promoting sales. Well, promoting comic book shops to buy the comics to sell them.
Right.
Because the more you buy, the better variant editions you get, which collectors will pay more money for.
Right, okay.
So it's generally like, I think it's 15, 25, 50, 100, 200, and then I've even seen thousands. So like, if they order 1,000 copies, they'll get one of these variants. They're generally the really pricey ones.
Wow.
We were talking about Walking Dead a lot, because I've been doing a lot of research in this, because it's going to have 8 covers, and it's getting a variant.
Mm-hmm.
The 8 covers are just going to be normal cover price. No, 7 of them will be normal cover price. The 7th one will be foil, which will be a little bit more. I think in England that's going to sell for $4.99.
Right. Okay.
Compared to I think $2.85 for the others. And
that's just for a single issue.
That's just for the single issue.
Wow. Okay.
They're doing I think it's 1 in 200. The chromium one, which is the foil one, has the nice wraparound with the corpses of all the characters that have died in it.
Nice.
With Rick stood above it.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. So don't look at that cover.
So Walking Dead. That will definitely be no characters on that will appear on that.
No, because they're all definitely still alive.
Yeah, everybody's
because it's a nice place.
Still living.
So that version has the black and white 100 variant cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in there pre-ordering the other 8 covers.
Yeah.
I was like, well, how much will the 9th cover be? And it's like, it's probably going to sell for more than £100.
What?
Yeah, because they're going to be that hard to get hold of.
Okay, so variant covers aside, have you made any other purchases this week? Or?
I have.
Okay.
Now, as you know, quite an avid comic purchaser.
Okay.
So this week, my purchases have been only 3, but we have Atomic Robo, the start of the new story arc, which I'm just looking at now because I haven't looked at the name of yet.
Ah, okay.
Which would be the Flying She-Devils of the Pacific.
Nice.
I don't know if you've read any Atomic Robo.
No, never heard of it.
But it's from Red 5 Comics. They're like indie guys.
Okay.
It's from the guys who... what's it called? 8-Bit Theatre. Did you ever read any of that?
I know that. I know
the guy, I think it's the writer from that went on to do Atomic Robo.
Cool.
And he was set out to do something that was never going to recycle stuff. It was never going to be a cheesy comic in terms of horrible cliches.
Right, okay.
That kind of cheesy.
Okay.
So it's about a robot that Nikola Tesla made in the 1800s.
Right.
And it's just his experiences over the last 120 years.
Cool.
Also, along with that, this week is the 3rd issue of Atomic Robo's Real Science Adventures, which is like a spin-off by a different artist doing different stories.
Okay. So does he have a similar agenda with, like, not going for cliches and...
Well, there's just the Atomic Robo brand.
Okay.
It all falls under this.
Okay.
So that was that, and then of course, Spider-Man, issue 2.
Are you mispronouncing Spider-Man?
I am not mispronouncing Spider-Man. I'd think then, whether it was man or man. Yeah.
Okay, I am a noob. What is this?
This is an exciting book, in my opinion.
Very good.
For any new listeners, which you all are, because this is issue 2.
Yes.
I am a massive Ultimate Spider-Man fan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Will's quite aware of this because Peter Parker's staring at him from my wall in like
He is?
what must be a 3-foot painting of Spider-Man.
You would think this was intimidating, but it's actually reassuring. So this is quite pleasant.
Yeah. So I am a massive Spider-Man and Ultimate Spider-Man fan, and this is Spider-Man, in which 616 Marvel Universe Peter Parker meets Miles Morales.
616 is the normal, not Ultimate,
like the core universe.
The core universe.
Which when people think Marvel, that's the one they're really thinking about.
And then Ultimate is like some divergent.
Ultimate was a reboot from 2000.
Right.
They decided to retell the origin.
Right. Okay.
But they wanted to make it for a more modern universe.
I remember. I've read the first 2 volumes.
Yeah.
So Ultimate Spider-Man.
Just to appeal to the kids again.
Yeah, I like it a lot as well, actually. I'm not sure what it is about it. It's not completely realistic, but it's more, I don't know, more tactile, it's more chewy. I really like the...
Chewy.
Yeah. I like it a lot. I mean, I might open up a bit more as we discuss.
Spider-Man
Yes.
is the new 6-issue crossover between the two universes, which is going to have some interesting things because, as we'll find out, Peter Parker died. Spoiler alert.
In Spider-Man?
In Ultimate Spider-Man.
Okay.
So this is kind of after that.
Okay.
So Peter Parker from 616 meets Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man from the Ultimate Universe, and they're like mushed together as a partnership. I think so far it's looking like that.
Okay.
And it's just going to be, I think, the potential for it to explore each of the new Spider-Man, seeing the way the other one's working and the way things would have been different in their alternate universes.
Okay, so Peter Parker gets to see what life would have been like if he died.
I haven't read issue 2 yet.
Right, okay.
But at the end of issue 1, he came through to the Marvel Ultimate Universe.
Right.
So he is in the universe where he's dead.
Right, okay.
So he's going to get to experience meeting the people who he cares about having suffered his traumatic death.
So it's like It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, but this is actually happening just in alternate universes.
Right, okay.
So I think that's a really good way to start our comic book club for this week.
Okay.
So, for those of you who looked on the website and saw that we'd read Ultimate Spider-Man, Death of Spider-Man 1, you can't really miss the cover. It's pretty damn grim. It's just all black and Spider-Man death everywhere on the cover.
Like every cover is like Spider-Man head in a tombstone. Like there's one where he's on a giant dinner plate and he's being cut open by a giant crocodile.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of stuff. Some of them are quite moving. So
I don't remember the giant crocodile.
That was a lie. that's not a real one. No, they're all quite grim, and they're all, I guess, forebearers of the theme.
Yeah,
that goes on.
I mean, so we'll get rolling on this. So that compiles issues 153 to 160. If anybody wants to read the issues from like a long-term fan point of view, I think I'm right in saying that this is the return of Mark Bagley as the art.
Right.
Because I mean, we were looking at the prelude just before, and it was like Sarah Pacelli, and I can't remember who the other one was.
I mistook Sarah Pacelli's art for Fraser Irving's art, and he did stuff like Gutsville, that kind of thing. And I think it's because they had the very same purple and green psychedelica sort of heavily photoshopped artwork, that kind of thing. Go on.
One interesting fact.
Yep.
The first 110 issues are drawn with the writing art team of Brian Michael Bendis, one of my favourite comic writers, and Mark Bagley. And so he returns for Death of Spider-Man, which I think is the only way to do it, really. If they've had such a long partnership, one of the longest running in American comic history, I was reading the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's like rivaled by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, so it's quite an impressive run.
Yeah.
So he comes back for Death of Spider-Man. So I think, for me, that as a fan, that was nice to see. It started with them, it's going to end with them. So it's not just the end of Peter Parker. He returns for this final arc as well. I thought it was dead cool.
Nice man. Okay.
We're looking at 153 to 160 again, Death of Spider-Man. Now, we kind of surprised you with this, and we're all just like, let's read Ultimate Spider-Man Death of this week. Yeah. And I gave you the volume, like maybe 6 hours before we recorded?
Yeah. Not that it takes 6 hours to read it, but it was during a busy work day, and 20 of my officials listening, yes, I was busy doing work all day.
Totally not reading Spider-Man.
No, of course not. No, it was crammed in during the lunch break. But what a lunch break it was.
Yes. I mean, incredibly tragic. Now, that's not something you'd normally say. I like tragedy. I've been reading since the start.
Right.
So it's like having been following this story for 6 years, and then it ending tragically was cool.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was kind of like losing a member of the family.
Do you think
or pets? Not that I'm comparing any of my members of family to the same worth as a comic book series, but it's something you followed.
Some part of you, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's part of my routine.
Yeah, of
like
course.
The Wednesdays and stuff, like when it was out and reading it.
Yeah.
So for that to end was really sad, and still makes me quite sad when I read it now.
Yeah, that's nice. I think a character's really established itself when it gets that feeling.
You get that little lump in your throat when you talk about them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think it happens a lot with... I never read them, but the Wheel of Time books were meant to have had a similar effect. And I guess, again, Walking Dead, where they just build up these characters. Maybe not to the extent in Walking Dead, where... Because they die quite frequently. The fear of death is omnipresent. I guess in Spider-Man, it's not... You don't expect Spider-Man to ever, like, fucking die. It's Spider-Man. It's this childhood hero. Just kicks a bucket.
He has his faults.
Yeah, like being mortal.
And what you were talking about, Spider-Man Never Dies. I remember the hype surrounding it.
Yeah.
And people knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Which I think took away from it a little bit.
I would agree with this.
Like if they hadn't called the arc "Death of Spider-Man."
Yeah, this is one of the points I was going to make. Like, I mean, there was not a documentary, but like a little video that went out. It showed up on Kotaku last year, and it was describing the death of Superman and going through that stuff. And it was like, okay, so you've got this, like Superman dies, and it's like this massive event, and it's like a public mourning for it, and it's in newspapers and stuff, and then he comes back magically.
Yeah.
And then it happens for Captain America, and it happens...
The magic time bullet.
Fucking magic time bullet. And,
what a narrative gem that is, magic time bullets.
I never even read it, but I know exactly what Tom's talking about when he says that, and I think that's the thing, the hype surrounding it and calling it Death of fucking Spider-Man is... It gives fuel to the cynics.
Yeah.
Because it's like... It gives fuel to the cynics, because it's just repeating the same patterns that they used to sing, so people are expecting him to just, be resurrected.
I'm really hoping they're going to stick with Miles Morales. So for those who don't know, Miles Morales is the new Spider-Man who took up the mantle off the back of Spider-Man, inspired by Spider-Man. I mean, you haven't read these, so we'll try and keep this spoiled.
Yeah, of course.
But Miles Morales ends up being bit by a spider through different circumstances.
Right.
Always the spiders. See, if I ever get bit, I want it to be a radioactive spider. Right. Like, if it's a normal spider, that's just going to be so devastating. If I don't stick to walls and stuff.
No, I think you'll just die. If it's just
painfully and tragically.
If you find a spider that'll bite you, it's... So Miles Morales.
So Miles Morales, yeah. I do hope Peter Parker stays dead.
Okay.
Damn it.
And
to give Miles Morales a run for his money.
Okay.
And the point I was trying to make, there's a separate story arc running alongside Death of Spider-Man, which I encourage you to read as someone who's now read Death of Spider-Man.
Okay.
Called Death of Spider-Man Fallout.
Right, okay.
And this sort of tells... Because one of the points you brought up was there's so much going on in it with the Ultimates.
Yeah, there's like... As somebody who's only read the first 2 volumes of Ultimate Spider-Man, I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised to find how easy the book was to read. Didn't really need to have that much idea of the mythos, not the mythos, like the timeline of the Ultimate Universe, because as long as you knew who like Kraven was, and the villains who turn up like Dr. Octopus, you're pretty much set. I think Bobby and Johnny, so Iceman and the Human Torch, for some reason are taking refuge in Peter Parker's house.
Yep.
For some reason, the Ultimates are fighting on the bridge.
Yep.
For some reason, spoilers, Punisher takes a pot shot at Captain America.
Yep.
I have no idea why the fuck that happened. And Parker gets it in the gut.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Gut shot.
What? Fucking spider bullets?
So the Fallout series runs
on.
alongside... I can't remember whether it was at the same time as Death of Spider-Man or whether it overlapped...
Right.
The Death of Spider-Man and the start of Ultimate Spider-Man, because I remember issue 4 of Death of Spider-Man, Fallout, is the first appearance of Miles Morales,
right? Okay,
as Ultimate Spider-Man,
right? Okay,
so it's kind of before issue 1 of Ultimate Spider-Man when Miles Morales takes over. What's really cool is seeing, so Miles Morales is aware of this event in the universe, sees Peter Parker and the fallout of his death. Becomes really inspired by what Peter Parker was doing with his life.
And that's
the
icon of him.
And that's why he takes up the Spider-Man mantle.
So he becomes is he publicly known to be Peter Parker?
Yeah.
When he dies? Okay.
But I think you really enjoy reading that without any more spoilers.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Even without reading the rest of Ultimate Spider-Man?
Well, I mean, you're aware of the events that bring Peter Parker's end. The Fallout thing explains the Ultimates thing, the new Avengers, why they're fighting, and that whole storyline, and other storylines that are revolving around it. Because you were saying that why is the Punisher shooting Captain America? All that's in Ultimate Fallout.
Oh, okay. So this could be a good way to join into the series.
Yeah.
Like if you've just you know who Spider-Man is, but you haven't been following Ultimates for 6 years or anything like that. Okay, cool, nice. We were talking about how morbid the comic is, and like the build up and the hype and stuff like that. And you've got a point, because I don't know what the rest of Ultimates is like if it's like Invincible. A lot of people die in the Death of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot? Like Dr. Octopus bites it, people get electrocuted. I'm sure there was a few occurrences where it's just...
Well, the notable deaths I remember...
Yeah.
I remember it wasn't Carol Danvers, the FBI, the Shield agent. It was the psychiatrist in that team that went down to check out.
They just get fried.
Straight off. I remember Osborn just getting mashed.
He does.
Not Osborn. I remember Osborn mashing Octopus.
Octavius is gone. He's gone.
Melted
Live
into
TV.
Yeah,
he's gone. I did also. Harry Osborn's dead.
Harry Osborn died. Yeah,
Huh?
that was what led to him being arrested, and Peter Parker thought Harry Osborn was dead as well.
Right. Okay.
Because
he thought Norman Osborn was dead as well.
Thought Norman Osborn was dead as well. Yeah. Because they've got the Goblin, like it's like I think it's a serum.
Right. Okay.
In Ultimate. I think I should know. This is one of my favourite series.
Yes.
And they're kind of more like the Hulk.
Okay. No, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of more of a serum, and then more like the Hulk with like fiery eyes and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I much prefer this variant on Green Goblin.
Yeah.
To me, it gets Norman Osborn's psychosis through a lot clearer.
Yeah.
And it's just more interesting.
I kind of love the bits where he's trying to make a point.
Yeah.
And he's just stood there as Norman Osborn, and then the point's not getting across.
You're just like, hang on, let me get my talking voice out.
Yeah, and he just goes, "Rrr," and the flip.
Yeah.
So, "Rrr,"
it happens.
for the people who are listening, is like him getting bigger and more muscly and flamey eyed and horned.
But he does it like he can do it in an instant as well. Because there's one frame where he's just. I think is it when he's fighting Octavius, or is when it is. I think it happens a couple of times because Octavius is like, we should be proud that we create Spider-Man, and then literally he's flying through the window. Yeah, it's just like bam. You didn't even see the impact. You just see Octavius going through, and there's this big fucking green bastard just watching him drop.
I remember in the Tinkerer's shop as well.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like, I'm not giving you guys
rolls
anything.
That intimidate check like that, and Tinkerer's just like, fuck that, no way. But then Kev's in, because he's gonna get fucking toasted.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't say no.
Who else dies? Does anyone else die? Am I just exaggerating it?
Norman Osborn definitively dies at the end of the book. If you remember that.
No, his eyes. He opens his eye, doesn't he?
He has one last smile because he knows he's killed Peter Parker. At least that's the way I looked at it. We have the book here.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure what happens is Peter Parker dies, and the very last thing is...
He's gone past it, I think.
We have definitely gone past it. Peter Parker dies. Mm-hmm. Definitely dead. Everybody's crying.
Yeah.
One last smile.
Well, so you think he's in his complete death throes? Because I think it's just because I read it so fast. I thought that was his eye opening, and he was just like... It's like the hand coming out of the soil at the end of a zombie movie or something like that. You're like, for fuck's sake, Peter Parker's dead, and this dick is not dead. Fuck this guy.
I don't remember there being a funeral for Norman Osborn,
right.
So that he may come back, but I'm hoping not.
But Superman.
I kind of feel like he achieved everything he wanted to by killing.
Because he was like pure revenge mode, wasn't he? He was just like, right, I'm killing everybody just to get rid of this guy.
And that was my interpretation of the last page. So for those listening, it's kind of like a half Green Goblin hand with the spikes on his skin, and then it pans down slowly, zooming in on Norman Osborn's face, and then the last panel's kind of what I think is a smirk, happy in what he's achieved.
I think you've probably nailed it there, mate.
Followed swiftly by my all-time favourite panel.
That's the only variant. Is that a variant cover?
It is a variant cover, but I think it was also in the last page as well.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. Just like he's finally gone to join Uncle Ben and make some rice.
So for people listening, it's a completely white page.
Yeah.
Quite ethereal, white gradients. Uncle Ben with his arm around Peter. Peter with his hand behind Uncle Ben's back. So much emotion in that hand.
You're just walking off.
The left hand, he's gripping Uncle Ben's coat, and to the comfort in it of knowing that he's done Uncle Ben proud. Yeah. It's a little bit emotional.
It's good, man. And then immediately after that,
you did good, kid.
Yeah. Immediately after that,
horrendous cover.
It's just like Spider-Man. It's
what is
garbage,
that,
man. That's fucking garbage. You know what? I'm sorry to that artist.
It's got no name on it.
Doesn't have a name. Sorry that you're art shit. Sorry. During Norman Osborn's breakout from S.H.I.E.L.D., after he toasts everybody, you get like a double page spread of all the villains breaking out.
Yep, remember that.
It says Octavius and badass tentacles coming out.
Yep.
And Electro. Is his name Electro?
His name is Electro.
Electro, and he's lightning shooting out his tits. Got Sandman, and he looks like he's gonna stick sand in
big.
Places where you don't want sand going. Craven is, he's doing his Predator pose. Right, and then Vulture turns up, and Vulture's sort of just in the corner. And it's like, Vulture! Why are you there, Vulture? What? I don't know. I mean, I didn't read Ultimate Spider-Man far enough for Vulture to be in it, but some guy, I don't know what the fuck a guy who can... I know from watching the TV show is that he was an old bitch who absorbed the chrono time energy from young people and made himself not old.
Well,
and
in this version,
flew about like a bender.
In this version, he just has a suit from the Tinkerer,
right?
Which is kind of like Iron Man.
So he's like Green Goblin.
Yeah, there's a Green Goblin from the movies. Yeah.
He's like, so he's a Power Ranger bad guy.
I like to think of this panel, this spread you're describing as Vulture photobombing it. They're like, he's like, hey guys.
Like on their Facebook, they would just edit him out or just crop off.
Just crop it.
His part, because he's just like, even when he's fighting, the only reason that they did not murder him on the way out of the prison is because they get to the helicopter at the end and they go, "Who can fly?" And it's like Vulture's like, I can fly the plane, I can fly the helicopter, and then he makes some quip about, "Oh yeah, I was in the Air Force, and you totally didn't even ask me about it, you fucking jerks." That's because they were all taking the piss out of him every day, beating him with bed knobs in a pillowcase, because nobody fucking likes this guy. He's just useless.
He's also the only person on the page who doesn't say anything.
Yeah, because no one wants to give him any time to say anything. He's a dick. No one. Fuck you, Vulture.
And isn't he like the first person to have a go at Spider-Man as well? And he just gets thrown away.
I honestly don't remember. He's just...
You did read this pretty fast. But I'm pretty sure there's like a wicked shot of Spider-Man.
He's like tossing grenades. He spams grenades all over Peter. And he's like, "Oh man, that guy's totally cheating, spamming grenades."
Yeah, it totally is. There's this wicked shot of Peter Parker like with the street lamps behind him.
That's it.
And he's like, "Son of a, I'm going to have this guy." Runs up, gets webbed, thrown away, done.
Doesn't even make physical contact. Just gets webbed in the fucking face like a douche.
And then thrown away, slingshotted away,
Gone.
unwebbed.
Gone.
He does come back.
It's like in Pokemon where Team Rocket get thrown off into the horizon and they go bling. No, that's all it is. And he's gone.
Yeah, the Vulture's
such a tosser.
Not the best supervillain.
Aunt May in Ultimates is not that bad looking. It's like, I remember again, I'm drawing most of my reference from the cartoon that was on Fox Kids.
Yeah.
And used to repeat cells all the time. This Aunt May,
bit of a gilf.
But is she a grandmother? Or is it just a white hair?
Yeah, because
there's no signs of aging on her face at all.
She's definitely, obviously they try to make it for younger, to appeal to a younger audience.
Right.
And it's definitely a much younger Aunt May.
Right.
Like, she does yoga and stuff. And
nice.
Compared to 616 where she's just some old biddy.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely a different version.
Well, she looks way more vulnerable and naive. You expect Nigerian princes to be scamming her out of her money through her inbox and stuff like that, because she has no idea to not click on the pop-ups. This one pulls over in the middle of a highway and then drives straight back, and she's like full of fury and she fucking shoots. Shocker dies. Electro, whatever his name is, Electric Shock, Static Man. he gets shot. He gets capped, assuming dead.
She does pop a cap in his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that. And then, I remember also Gwen Stacy's like, "Yeah, do it,
yeah, motherfucker." So
that was the definition of awesome. Yeah,
that was. And then MJ, oh man, I don't know if you've ever played JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There was a fighting game of it, and a few years ago there was an internet meme where two stick figures would be fighting, and then one of them would he'd stop time, and he'd throw lots of knives into a guy, he'd throw a steamroller on top of a guy, and he'd go like that, and that was from that. But that hitting Green Goblin with the truck, I was just like, nice. It reminded me exactly of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's just great.
But what I don't get is, I'm sure at least 3 times during this fight that lasts 3 issues, Spider-Man keeps saying, "That's it, that's all I've got."
Yeah. I know.
And then he carries on.
Just pushing on. It's really showing how beat up he is, which I liked, and I wish it's how they had handled his death rather than the constant reminder that Peter Parker's going to die.
I love this panel, the one where it's really showing his vulnerabilities.
So where's that? So he's just not Clayface.
He's just knocked out Electro before he comes back, and Aunt May shoots him.
Yeah,
and he's kind of like a crowd watching now, and one of them's recording on his mobile phone, and he's kind of just down on his knees looking up at the camera, and he's saying, "Could someone call 911? I'm not doing so good here." It really looks like this is it, and it is.
Yeah,
it is it.
It looks really vulnerable, and that's, like I said, that's how they should have gone for it, instead of glorifying the character's death and using it to. I mean, I know they got to sell the fucking comics, man, but if I could have had it my way, it would just be like this thing that just happens, like in Walking Dead, and it has a lot of resonance because you don't see it coming at all.
Yeah. Which is why they shouldn't, in my opinion, they shouldn't have named the story arc Death of Spider-Man. Because you're going,
fair enough.
I wonder what's going to happen in this book.
Fair enough. Afterwards, you've had the time to read it. Call it Death of Spider-Man Fallout. That's fine. I mean, anybody new coming to it, they're going to have a clue that he's dead. But yeah, you sell it best on that.
I love that just before the very final moments, he gets one last smooching with Mary Jane.
It looks
even though, like, for half the fight, his guts are spelling out. For 2 minutes, he manages to compose himself perfectly to embrace the woman he loves.
Did you ever read the Battle Royale manga? You don't like anime and manga.
I'm not a big anime manga fan. No.
That's a newsflash for anybody who would like to send bombs to us through the post. Tom doesn't like anime and manga, which means that when it's my chance to pick a comic, I might choose Battle Royale. Okay. Because, I mean, it holds true to some of those cliches of manga and anime, like planting shots and incredibly perverted people and like giant eyes and stuff like that. It's got some really... It's because of the length of time it's got to develop the characters. There's a lot of gruesome stuff that happens, but there's a bit where one of the main characters, he gets like his intestines cut out, and he has to duct tape up his abdomen, and it reminded me a lot of when Peter webs himself.
He's just like, oh hey, I've got this.
It's like that first aid spray, just like done. This guy could have totally done with that. It's nice comparing how these characters react to it, because that guy, he didn't last very long after that happens to him.
In the run up to it, Peter Parker made a series of really bad decisions.
Despite the fact that Cap had...
What's the Cap at the start where Cap says, stay here?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He's just like, lol, no.
And then he follows the Cap and he gets shot.
Yeah.
And then he goes home.
But he saves Cap.
He does save Cap. And that is good. Then he goes home and that means, like, come with us, because this is only going to end badly.
Right.
He's like, no, I've got this.
Yeah. And you're right, he totally doesn't learn. He doesn't learn. He tries to take the weight of the world on him.
I think that was the point that they were all trying to make. Because if you remember, I showed you the prelude to it, and before that there was the vote as to whether he should be in, I think it was when he was going to be an Ultimate, or whether he was even worthy of being a superhero. And I remember distinctly Captain America wanted to lock him up because he was a liability.
Yeah.
And
he says that. He says that as well.
Does he say that?
Yeah, he says it was like X Factor. Everybody voted yes. I was Simon Cowell, and I said no. If it was just down to me and my nipples, you would not be getting into this. And
I think the result of this story proves that they were right.
Yeah.
He was like, I've got this, and he didn't.
He really
did. He needed. I think Spider-Man struggles to say, I need help. In whichever version of it is, he's always like, I'm going for it. Very rarely seems to take help. I mean, I know he's in the Avengers in some issues and things like that, but he always feels like a lone character.
Yeah, he totally does.
Even when he's in the groups, like I know you haven't been reading AVX. He tends to just be there to come in, make a quip, and go out. It's almost in those books as if he uses the humour to keep the distance between him and the other people.
I think that's it. That's part of his character, isn't it? It's a self-defense mechanism.
Yeah.
And even as he's going down, when he's fighting the Green Goblin, he's still coming out with these puns.
I remember a really good one.
He's pulling those fucking puns out like nobody's business. They come out at the right pace as well.
Yeah.
You're laughing, but you're still grimacing because you can tell he's dying as he's saying these things.
Yeah.
It really fits with how you'd imagine the character would work.
Even in the face of everything.
Oh, he said like your haircut's never going to come back in fashion. Like, what are you going to do after you kill me?
What are you going to do after you kill me? Yeah, and then he's like, you're never going to get your business. You're never going to be a captain of industry again.
Your son's not going to come back.
Your son's not going to come back, and your hair's never going to come back into fashion. These are the reasons I love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The comedy in it. You didn't read 3 issues I read before this. The Requiem that was showing you, where Iron Man is talking to the Black Cat when they've got the Ankh.
Yeah.
And Iron Man's like, she's single. Peter Parker's just says, I don't know, why don't you just follow her on Facebook? Like, it's just, it makes it kind of real, do you know what I mean?
That's really good. I like that a lot. Nice one. I felt like I should say a little bit about like, compositions and art and stuff. I got kind of confused with how Goblin's powers work. It's just how when the villains turn up at Peter Parker's house, after everyone's left, and it's just Fire and Ice left holding the fort, they fare quite well against those villains. One of the first guys to get knocked the fuck out is Goblin.
Yeah.
And it's Johnny who takes him down. It's the Human Torch that he uses his firepower against him. And in that instance, it fucks him up. But The second time, when he has a decision to choose between resin, fire, or ice, and he picks fire, it powers him up. Why is there a difference? Because he says, "Uh-oh, Green Goblin's absorbing the flame," like that, and like obviously, in like a natural combination of fire and fire, it's going to fuel fire. That's what you feel. But why was there a difference the first time and the second time?
There is no logical difference for it, I guess. I'm not sure if it's because... No, I was thinking maybe it's because he punched him, but it doesn't actually ever show you what
because it looks like he
him.
Full-on burns him the first time.
Well, you see him charging towards each other.
It's like a big fiery Hadouken or something like that. And he's like... Bah! And he goes down and he smashes his head on the patio. And he's...
Patios, mate.
I know. Oh, that's it. It's full of goblin brick or something that kills him. And also... I like the juvenile mistakes that Iceman makes. Like, Johnny gets put out with sand.
Yep.
It's just like throwing a big bucket of sand on the fire. Iceman just making a massive trail of water that Electro can just tap and kill him straight away. It's a good mix.
It's kind of used twice, that mechanic as well. Because I remember Peter opens the fire hydrant onto all of them.
He does. So the adults still make mistakes. What I like about Mike Mignola's stuff in Hellboy is that he gets his onomatopoeia in and like a sound effect.
Yeah.
And just the right sound effect, and it's like, that's exactly how that would sound. And it carries just the weight. Like we're saying here with Goblin, is this when he first emerges out of the prison?
He first out of the prison cell.
A lot of the words are completely see-through. I can't read what it says. I have to really concentrate on looking at what it says, and it says like "faboom," which might fit, but the presentation of the sound effects is it's baffling. It kind of broke the flow for me because I was trying to figure out what. In my head, I went smash, and I looked at it, and it was like. I had to like analyse what it was trying to tell me.
The one where Iceman gets electrocuted. The entire panel is covered with
square.
I thought it was doom, but it's actually boom.
Yeah, that's it. It's almost worth just having it wordless. You just put the noise in yourself.
Yeah.
So I guess to wrap it up from me, I really liked it, and coming to the comic with limited experience with the Ultimate series. Like, I knew who Spider-Man was.
I think we've all heard the origins enough times by now. Thanks to
Jesus Christ, all the reboots and all those Saturday mornings watching Fox Kids and stuff like that, and BBC Live and Kicking. God, I'm old. I really enjoyed it. You don't have to have read really any of the comics, I think, to have a standing on it, and all the old favourites are in there, and there's enough surprises. The flow's good, the action's good, the art's good, and it sets it up well for Fallout.
What about the movies?
I liked the first two movies. Granted, I haven't seen them in a while. Maybe I was a bit younger when I saw them, but I remember being okay with them. I thought they were fairly accurate representations of what I thought Spider-Man was at the time. Maybe it was because it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like one of the first decent superhero movies. Yeah, I liked the first movie, and the second one, I think I've only seen it once. It might have been in the cinema. Yeah, and I don't know, I'm somebody, I like to think I have a discerning taste, and that I tend to poo-poo a lot of superhero movies, and I don't know, I don't always come out of a film having enjoyed it, but...
Did you see Avengers?
I didn't, actually. No, because I feel like, I don't know, I didn't have an urge to go see it. I hear a lot of good things about it as well. I
thoroughly enjoyed it. But the reason we're talking about movies at the end of Spider-Man is because Amazing Spider-Man in cinemas next week in the UK.
Really?
Yep, the new one.
Wow, cool.
Andrew Garfield. So when we were discussing which comic to talk about this month, that's why I suggested this week even.
That makes sense.
Why I suggested
that makes sense.
Because it launches next. Well, it will be the day after this podcast goes live.
So
will you see it? You think?
Yes, sure. I like Spider-Man. That's weird. I guess I will see it. I don't want to see the Avengers, but I want to see Spider-Man. The only one out of the Avengers that I liked was Iron Man, and I saw his movies, and the second one was balls. So
not like it.
Did not like.
Not even with Scarlett Johansson in a really tight suit.
I kind of liked. I like Scarlett Johansson. It's more of a. I don't know. It's not like a role where she has much of a character or anything, is it? I want to see her act. I want to see her character be the one that's sultry and not just on the eyeballs and stuff like that. And
she does tend to be there as her ass as a frame for shots.
See, Lost in Translation does the same thing. Literally, the opening shot is her ass, but you like the character as well, and there's something else there to it. I like to be romanced before I jump in bed.
Okay.
Sorry, so what did you think about the Spider-Man movies?
My personal opinion is I really enjoyed the first one.
Okay.
The second one was the Green Goblin one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just making sure I got me
No. First one's Green Goblin, because it's got Willem Dafoe in it.
But I remember I wasn't happy with that version of the Green Goblin.
Because he looked like a Power Ranger.
He did look like a Power Ranger.
Yeah. He looks like a bit of a monk in that suit. It just didn't fit at all. Even at the time, it looked dumb.
I didn't like the voice.
What, of Green Goblin?
Yeah, because when he put on that persona, he changed the
Oh,
voice.
shit,
and it was a really horrible voice.
Yeah. It did.
But I did enjoy the one with Octopus in it much more than
The second one.
The second one. That was, I can't
So
remember
it
which
wasn't the
it
first one that you liked. It was the
second one. Yeah,
It was the
with
second
Octopus
one.
in it.
Okay.
Because that was based on one of the earlier stories from Spider-Man, in which it's sort of the same sort of storyline where he goes out to the pier and he gets trapped under all the stuff, and it looks like it's all going to go tits up, and then Spider-Man saves the day. It's based on one of those old stories, so I think I related to that one a lot more than here's a crappy version of the Green Goblin.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the third one, it's kind of like the fourth Indiana Jones film. I'd rather imagine it's not there.
God.
Because the Venom's in it, and there was such... I don't know why they kind of went, okay, this one's going to be about Green Goblin.
Right.
This one's going to be about Dr. Octopus.
Yes.
This third film is going to be about Sandman and Venom.
Right.
Which meant kind of wasn't enough of either one of them to make him a really substantial villain.
So, did they keep scene stealing from each other, or was it there wasn't enough time to get a full arc in? Or
well, it was just
is it a whole film? A full film with an established hero character, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It sounds like enough time to have two villains.
Yeah, it's Eddie Brock's not this. Eddie Brock's really weedy and whiny. He's not because the Eddie Brock that I enjoy is the ones that's like the big guy.
Yeah, but he's also like a journalist.
He's that guy. Yeah, he's one of the journalists. It's like he's the guy from that '70s show.
Yeah.
The stick one.
Yeah. What, really?
Yeah, he's Venom.
Jesus. Okay.
Well, he's Eddie Brock, which becomes Venom.
Right.
And he has the black suit on. Spider-Man has the black suit on.
Right.
For the first half of the film. And there's like a really cheesy scene where he plays in a jazz piano, because apparently Spider Powers gives you jazz power. And he does jazz and dances with the waitresses. And that's the bit.
Makes total sense.
For this whole scene, what he does is he pulls his fringe down across his eyes.
Is this the emo thing?
This is the emo thing.
Right.
And that's just dreadful. That's absolutely dreadful.
That is a word that does not get pulled out a lot.
Venom's in this film, and Venom's a fantastic villain.
Right.
With a big smile and the coming back thing.
Yeah.
And he only ever really appears at the final battle.
Right.
So what you get from Eddie Brock is he works at the Daily Bugle.
Okay.
He likes Gwen Stacy.
Yes.
And Peter Parker likes Gwen Stacy.
Stacy's
so he gets jealous.
got it going on.
And then Spider-Man casts off the symbiote, which falls onto Eddie Brock because for some reason he's under him in a bell tower.
So they keep the crazy ass bell tower thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the bell tower is there because
the
symbiote can't stand the noise, right?
Yeah.
What is Eddie Brock writing an article on churches? Bells?
He's kind of he's there. I think he knows Spider-Man's there.
Right, so it's like, I'll stand directly under this guy.
Yeah.
As his mass descends towards me.
There's black stuff that's coming down. Yeah. And then that's kind of it until this big battle where Sandman's got Mary Jane in a construction
yard. Is it the
yard.
clone Mary Jane?
It's not, no.
Okay.
Well, if it was, they kept it secret.
Right.
So we'll go with no.
It wasn't in the spoiler after the credit or anything like that? Or?
No. And Sandman's trashing the place.
Right. As he does. It's Sandman.
As he does. Getting bigger because apparently gets the sand in the construction yard to get massive.
Right.
And then Venom turns up after he's defeated Sandman.
Right.
But it's the only time we really see Venom. And it's kind of kept at a distance.
Right.
Like fleeting shots. Which is kind of cool.
Right.
But then they never really get to the bit where there's a big reveal.
Right. Until
the part where Spider-Man sticks loads of poles in the floor and then beats him and it comes off Eddie Brock.
So he does like a resonance sort of thing? Like a tuning fork?
Yeah. And
he beats off Eddie Brock?
Yeah, he beats off Eddie Brock.
Right.
With a big steel pole.
Nice.
It's just... It was neither here nor there.
Right.
Like, why was Venom in that? If it was just for that end scene. That was my 2 cents on Spider-Man films.
Okay, well I've never even seen it. So
but I do like the fact that Bruce Campbell appears in all 3 films.
Are you fucking kidding me?
He's in all 3 films, my friend.
Does he ever go, groovy?
No, he doesn't. But he does play a cheesy French waiter in one of them.
Can you tell me in the first two movies where Bruce Campbell
I can tell you where he's in all three of those films.
Oh my god.
In the first film, he is the guy who introduces Spider-Man at the wrestling ring for the very first time, who actually gives Spider-Man his name. Because if you remember, he's like, I want to be the human spider.
Yeah,
and the guy's like,
yeah, nice name, kid.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's Bruce Campbell.
Good God.
In the second film,
Is where?
he is... The second film is the one where Mary Jane's on Broadway, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
He is the maitre d' who says, you can't come in, kid.
Okay.
That's Bruce Campbell.
Does he say, you can't come in, kid? Groovy. Like that?
I like to think in spirit he did.
Or he had like a chainsaw hand, or...
Groovy.
Or he just like
I think
lifts
he has
his...
the hand behind his back. Maybe that's just like chainsaw.
Okay.
And then in the third film, he gets a much bigger part in that he's in a scene instead of just like an appearance.
Okay.
And he plays a waiter in this restaurant.
Another waiter.
Not a waiter. The person who runs the whole...
That's the maitre d'.
The maitre d'.
Right.
So what's the people... An usher. He played an usher in the second one.
He
not
played,
a maitre d'.
what, the guy with the sticker on his face?
No.
The singer? Not the singer.
Not the singer. The
Okay.
usher. Like the guy who says you can't come in, it's too late, you missed it.
Right.
When he goes to see Mary Jane.
It's my dad at my own birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the jokes! The jokes!
In the third one, he plays the maitre d' who's running the shop. And I think Peter's trying to propose to Mary Jane.
Right.
Things keep going wrong.
Okay.
So Peter's going like... And he's got like a band running out to play for him and stuff, and he's going...
Okay.
No.
So it's like proper campy, like
Yeah.
slapstick humour. That.
Yeah.
Like, this is Bruce Campbell's bread and butter. This is stuff he's good at, man.
I love Bruce Campbell.
Was he ever fighting his hand?
No.
Or anything like that? That'd have been awesome.
No.
Okay.
I like that after all these years, Sam Raimi's still throwing him a few breadcrumbs from the table.
Yeah, he is. You should. There was a really shitty DVD box collection of Sam Raimi films. Where it's like Man with the
Screaming Brain.
Have you seen that?
I think it's Ted Raimi, not Sam Raimi though.
His brother?
Yeah.
Ted Raimi. There's Bubba Hotep, which is actually a good film.
I adore Bubba Hotep.
It's a fucking brilliant film. It's really, really good. You should watch that. Like, that's one of those weird concept films where you're like, what the fuck? But then you watch it and it's actually pretty good.
Yep. I'll second that. That gets my stamp of approval.
JFK and a black JFK.
Yeah.
And Elvis Presley in a retirement home fighting a mummy.
A cowboy mummy.
Cowboy mummy, which sounds
sucking souls through people's assholes. If I remember correctly.
Yes, it is, and he can't get an erection. Elvis Presley can't get an erection anymore.
He does eventually.
Maybe as like the finale of the movie. Yeah. Maybe. I can't remember. I know it's a running joke that his willy isn't working anymore. I laughed. I liked it. And then there's like two other crap.
Did you see My Name is Bruce?
It's that one where they go to the town. He goes to the town
and
he's like, you guys, he thinks it's all part of like an elaborate plan that his agent set up or something. Yeah, I saw that was one of the films I saw.
With the was it the Chinese god of bean curd or something?
Yeah,
it's really strange.
Yeah, like this kid's eating bean curd in the car, and it comes in and it doesn't kill him because he's eating tofu or something. You're like, are you fucking kidding me? What is this film? I mean, it was alright for... I think I was eating my dinner, having a beer when I was watching it. I was like, okay. But it's not... sometimes films that are so bad are actually good.
Evil Dead 3.
I've not actually seen it. But I've seen Return to Horror High, which you should... I will put a link on the WordPress to this. It is... The trailer is one of the best bits of the film. And it's not even in the film. After a slow start of half an hour, and it has George Clooney in it as well, like in Return of the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yep.
Half an hour of the worst film you will ever see. It kicks off into a spiral of madness. It is fucking mental. What goes on? There's sandboxes eating people, blood just firing through walls, a man who will not die, plots. It's like plots within plots within plots. Beyond Inception, it goes deeper than Inception. This film that was obviously made on Tesco value budget.
Tesco value. White Stripe film.
White Stripe film. It's very good. I'll post a link up.
Evil Dead 3 though.
Yeah.
You see the second one?
Yeah. It's one of my favourite films.
The one where the portal opens up at the end,
yes,
and the car gets sucked through, and then he gets sucked.
He goes through and goes, ah!
Yeah, because he carries on exactly from where it left off. Only
I heard about this.
where he lands is medieval times, and there are knights and
Right.
stuff, and he's got a car and a shotgun and a sword.
You know, for a Bruce Campbell film.
And they're like, who's this guy with
Right.
this iron horse, and they're poking it and stuff.
Right.
And they get taken to the castle.
Right.
And then he's thrown into a pit and all this stuff, and they don't trust him.
Okay.
And then they send him off to find the Necronomicon.
I love saying that word.
The Necronomicon.
Go on.
Yes!
Shit.
So he gets the Necronomicon, and then he has to say 3 words when he picks it up. He has to say, Clatu Verata Nictu.
As if you know it.
As if I know it, yeah. It appears in a lot of other horror films, if I remember correctly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But he can't remember the last bit. So he kind of goes,
I've heard
Clatu
about
Verata.
Yes, and he's trying to like trick the bucket. Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
by picking it up without saying the right words, he brings forth the
That
army
is
of darkness.
So dumb. That is such dumb comedy. That's exactly his style, though.
Yeah, and I love him all the more for it.
Right. Okay.
So what if,
What if?
going with the appearance of the Ultimates fighting the Avengers in Ultimate Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
what if you were Nick Fury?
If I was Nick Fury.
Yeah. And I'm going to let you pick which Nick Fury you want to be. Whether you want to be the 616 old guy with the white sides ahead,
here's the thing.
or whether you want to be Samuel L. Jackson.
Here's the thing. I don't know enough about either of them.
Right.
And not being a racist, I will pick Samuel L. Jackson.
Because he's badass.
Because he's badass.
I'll go with that.
Yeah.
So, 5 superheroes.
He's overused, but I like him as Nick Fury. I think that works. So
5 superheroes
yes.
to be part of your Nick Fury super team.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. Can I have an ironic one, or do you want like a real one?
I just want your answer. I don't care if it's ironic.
5 Jubilees.
5 Jubilees? I don't know if I know who that is.
Jubilee, the...
Oh, just 5 of them all together. We'll clone her and just have 5 Jubilees.
Yeah.
I was like, who's 5 Jubilees? I've never heard of 5 Jubilees. You mean just 5 Jubilees? Just sparkling, eat fireworks, will be just glamorous.
Yeah. It would just be the worst thing you've ever seen. Apart from... I always joke about... Man, this makes me sound like a sad fucker. I always joke about with one of my friends in the first X-Men movie, and there's a kid who's like blinking at a TV, and I always say, because I'm hilarious, that that kid has the power to turn on the TV with his eyeballs. So that kid could be like the secret weapon that we bring out after the fireworks or something.
So you wouldn't want other crap superheroes like Typeface?
Sorry, what?
In Civil War, I can't remember if he's a villain or a hero. There is a super character called Typeface.
What the fuck?
I cannot remember his background, but all I remember is
he letter set.
He has letters, whether it's with the clamminess of his skin stuck to him, and then what he does is he gets pissed off and he pulls them off and uses them in ninja stars.
Terrible.
So that's Typeface.
That is terrible.
So maybe you want Jubilee,
that is
TV remote
I
kid.
can see why House of M happened with the doing stuff like this. This is a terrible thing.
So you want to combine bad combos. So you got Jubilee, remote kid.
Wink wink. Typeface. Who was some of the trash superheroes? Toad was a bit shit because he's just a fucking frog.
He's kind of like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah,
X-Men.
but he stinks as well. Like in the movie, Storm makes a comment about him like smelling like dog shit or something, and he's like, "Yeah," and then he just gets. Did he die? He gets electrocuted on the Statue of Liberty or something.
I don't remember that.
He gets because she says, "Eat toast, frog," or something, and then just electrocutes him.
She turns into Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Lays down the threat and then electrocutes him.
Yeah, and he goes flying off at the distance or something. I'll leave it. I'll pick some good ones instead.
It doesn't have to be Marvel. That's not restricted.
It doesn't have to be Marvel.
No.
Okay. Invincible's dad.
Invincible's dad.
Even though he will kill everybody at some point, and me.
Because of the mustache.
Because of the mustache. Well, no, because he's wise and he spawns these children who are awesome. So Invincible's dad. Who else can we pick? What's the name? Jake from Adventure Time.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Jake the dog or is Jake the kid?
I don't remember.
The dog.
I don't know.
I want the dog.
That comic's random.
See, that's the thing. I'm complaining about Chew, and then I'm like Adventure Time, but it just works. It just works. It just works because it's just bullshit. But I like the dog, and he can turn into shit like Mr. Fantastic. So who have I got? I've got shit.
Invincible's dad.
Invincible's dad. Right, the muscle and the leader. Done.
And the wild card.
And
because
he might murder everybody.
He might kill everyone.
Okay, but then you've got another wild card because that's the dog, who's also like a loyal companion, and he's good for like advice and stuff. And then I'd pick. Do I need a strong guy?
Well, you got a Viltrumite. What more do you need?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, you'd have just gone Invincible's dad.
I've got a fucking one-man army right there. I mean, what else does S.H.I.E.L.D. like? Why do they have these teams? What do they do?
Just respond to
like situations.
Threatening.
Galactus.
I've got the Earth covered, literally.
Yes,
it's fine.
Galactus. This is an incredibly
I feel the
difficult
logistics of
team
keeping Galactus on your team.
Hold together.
Like, he's just like, I'm hungry.
Why do we feed him?
Feed you anything.
Fuck's sake! You're just gonna have to starve, or we'll die. Yeah, Galactus.
All the food on Earth couldn't feed you, Galactus, or could it?
Then that's the whole comic. You just spend it trying to feed Galactus. I don't know, man. This is tricky. So I've picked a lot of old people with flaws, right? Because I'd want like maybe Raiden from Mortal Kombat as well, because he might like keep a lid on it or something.
He's like the geriatric Avengers.
Yeah,
and a dog,
that turns into stuff. Should we wrap it up so we can go into
we need
dinner
to.
and stuff? Okay.
So the last one for your team?
I had the dog, Galactus,
geriatrics. You had Raiden.
Rhydon. The Pokemon. Raiden. Yeah, that was it. So yeah, mine was more like I made a mess, and then with the other characters tried to fix the mess that I'd made.
Galactus.
God. Could make planets.
Someone God.
Could make planets to feed Galactus with.
And the Viltrumite to defend it.
The what?
The Viltrumite.
The Viltrumite. Oh, of course. Yes.
To defend the planet.
Yes.
And the planets that are created to feed the Planet Eater.
Yes. I think
what's Raiden bringing to the team?
He's just like, guys! He can't... It's not solving anything. Just him and the dog like go for walks or something. I'm not sure how it works.
So, final tally on your team. Raiden.
Yes. Can I take Raiden out and have Dexter's mum?
Dexter's mum?
Yes.
Invincible's dad?
Yes.
Whose name I cannot remember. Omni-Man.
Go on.
Omni-Man.
Before we die.
Galactus. And God.
God, yes.
Okay. That was our what if for this week.
That was our what if. Please feel free to provide better answers, even if you just tell us in person, because the co-workers are the only people that listen to this, and we love you very much.
Gotta start somewhere.
Start small. So, you should read off the sign-off.
Well, before we do the sign-off,
okay.
Next week.
Oh, yes.
Volume 1 of The Walking Dead in honour.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it'll be in memory because they're going to have to kill somebody in episode 100.
I reckon nobody will die. It'll be okay.
You think it's going to be a double wolf? I killed one person in at least every issue, but not 100.
He'll kill 2 in 101.
We're gonna read Volume 1 of The Walking Dead in celebration of the release of issue 100 of The Walking Dead. So if you want to read it, and then you can listen along and understand better what we're talking about.
Yeah,
even though we can barely speak English sometimes.
If you're somebody that we know personally, if you want to read it and maybe come on and talk about it, that's cool. The more guests, the merrier. We have a new microphone, which is omnidirectional. So if we want, we can have 6 people. And we could fit maybe another whole person in this room. 1.5. Yeah, like if somebody laid down or went to the bathroom or something. Yeah. So yeah, I've been Tom, and I'm still Will. We have been One Shot, a comic podcast, and you can find us via our website at oneshotpodcast.wordpress.com. The Twitter is at One Shot Podcast, all one word. And if you'd like to subscribe to us on YouTube, that's One Shot Podcast. On Facebook, we are Facebook. we are fuckbook.com. We are facebook.com /One Shot Podcast. Do not go fuckbook.com and type One Shot. Do not go on those ad banners. They lead you into bad places. If you would like to email us and tell us how atrocious you think this is and how little we know about comics, yes, or actually give us some constructive feedback and maybe suggest what ifs and books to read, or speakers, or want to send speakers to us, you can email us at oneshotpodcast@gmail.com. And on iTunes, I believe we're on iTunes, right? We are on iTunes, definitely now, officially. Okay, very good. It's a warm feeling. Search for One Shot, a comic podcast. Keep reading. Please keep reading. And listening. Of course.